And I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland. So welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Yes, I'm zooming in from the Carmelite Monastery in Baltimore, but welcome to you from wherever you are zooming in. So I'm Dr. Kim, and I welcome you. Glad you are here. And we're going to start off. There's so many celebrations going on right now, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that, Rev Janet. Looking forward to it. So we'll start off with a song that comes from the spirituals tradition. So everybody put yourself on mute, and this is how it goes. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. I hear archangels rocking Jerusalem. Hear archangels are ringing them bells. I hear archangels rocking Jerusalem. Hear archangels ringing them bells. Go tell Mary, go Mary, go tell Mary to ring them bells. Go tell Mary, go tell Mary, go tell Mary to ring them bells. He is risen. Oh, Mary, ring them bells. He is risen. Oh, Mary, ring them bells. Alleluia, 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 ring them bells. Alleluia, 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 ring them bells. Now that's pretty easy, so you got to just sing that alleluia part with me. Ready? And here we go. Alleluia, 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 ring them bells. Alleluia, 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 ring them bells. I hear archangels rocking Jerusalem. Hear archangels ringing them bells. I hear archangels are rocking Jerusalem. Hear archangels ringing them bells. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, oh, Mary, ring them bells. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Happy Easter, Ramadan Kareem, and have a great Passover.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Umanya Munoz. Thank you, Dr. Kim. I'm so glad to be joining you all here today. It's actually my first service for the church in Ocean Park, so I'm super, super excited to be here. For those of you who may not know yet, I'm actually the intern that will be helping out the church in Ocean Park while Janet's on sabbatical. But as I was expressing to Janet this week, I'll make sure to stick around afterwards because I've definitely felt very welcome and I'm super excited to grow and be a part of this community. So it's super great to welcome you all today. And I just want to, set our intentions and open up our space a little bit, especially in the middle of such positive, such great celebrations across multiple communities. So as I was mentioning, I am now one of the newest members here of the Church in Ocean Park, and I'm here to welcome you to this unique multi-faith community that is dedicated to social justice. You may be wondering if you are welcome here. And from my personal experience, I'd like to tell you that there's nothing that could stop you from belonging to the community that is beautifully made here. So if you are welcome if you're single, if you're married, if you're divorced, if you're gay or transgender, regardless of your income status, your immigration status, we welcome all those who are fidgety, who may be very focused. I tend to be a little bit of both. So, it'll be exciting to see which personality I get to take on each Sunday. Even if you just woke up, I'm not gonna lie, I might be just a little bit 30 minutes after waking up. So it's really exciting to be able to start my morning with such a positive day, especially because the sun is so beautiful this morning. We also don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or if you haven't been to church since your nephew's bar mitzvah. We welcome people of all ages and disabilities. or abilities. We also welcome soccer moms. We welcome tree huggers, latte sippers, vegan, junk food eaters. You're welcome here. You're welcome here regardless of whatever your personality may be. We also provide space and support for those that need our support, our love, and our care and compassion, including those who are in recovery or struggling with addiction. Or if you're having problems or experiencing an abundance of joy, or if you find yourself somewhere in the middle, on any day, you're more than welcome here. Your emotions are always valid here. Your feelings, the way that you feel, the way that you want to carry yourself in the world, we're here to support those exact initiatives. You're welcome if you work too hard, if you don't work, if you can't spell, if you can't read, if you can't write, doesn't matter. Your background, this is the space for you. So you are welcome here if you're a tourist, if you're a seeker, if you're a doubter. We really offer a special welcome to all those, especially who are looking for a community of support, a community of love, and a community motivated by justice, to people who want to find folks that will listen to them before speak over them, to people who will lend their hearts as much as they lend their minds and their hands. So please, welcome and enjoy the service. Thank you so much. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. We're so lucky to have you. So lucky that you're here. And Jeffrey is a third-year undergraduate student at UCLA, double majoring in Chicanics and Central American Studies and Labor Studies. He's also a graphic designer, a storyteller, and community organizer, and so much more. But you'll get to know him as you meet him and as time goes on. So I'm Rev Janet Gollery McKeithen, and I'm lucky to be the pastor of the church, and I'm really glad to see you all as well. I want to remind you that I'll be leaving on a sabbatical shortly and return July 11th. You have an amazing leadership team, which has been leading all along. I actually don't do it anyway. If you have an idea for our program, take it to Hurley Jim or Donna. If you have an administrative concern, take it to Aspen, our office manager, or Joanne Berlin. A question about what's happening with construction, please contact Susan Lockmiller, our trustees president. And the buck stops with Joseph Hepburn, Chaplain Joseph Hepburn, while I'm gone. We want to begin by acknowledging that most of us right now are sitting on stolen land. In Santa Monica, the land was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of US colonial settlerism. We also acknowledge that our communities and country was built on the backs of people who were stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do some things that we see as normal, but that are actually systemically hurting people. We all have biases, and it takes intentionality to build compassion for people whose lives are different from ours. We seek to work together across boundaries to tear down unjust systems and build new relationships of healing and love. This morning, you'll hear from a variety of people. If you hear something you disagree with, know that they do not speak for the church in Ocean Park in its entirety. And your voice is just as important as whoever it is that just spoke. Thank you for being a part of this community this morning. Thank you for helping break barriers and build more compassion. And thank you for being a part of trying to bend the arc for justice, which is ever so hard. Thank you and welcome.
Now we have a song, and I'm going to sing a song called Now the Green Blade Riseth. And it's a specific Easter song, I think, and it was written in the 1800s. And let me put those lyrics in the chat so you can sing along at home. Now the green blade riseth from the buried grain, weed that in dark earth many days has lain. Love lives again, that with the dead has been. Love is come again, like wheat that springeth green. In the grave they laid him, love who had been slain, thinking that he never would awake again, laid in the earth like grain that sleeps unseen. Love is come again like wheat that springeth green. Forth he came at Easter like the risen grain, Jesus who for 3 days in the grave had lain. Quick from the dead, the risen one is seen. Love is come again like wheat that springeth green. When our hearts are wintry, grieving and in pain, Jesus' touch can call us back to life again. Fields of our heart, the dead and bare have been. Love is come again like wheat that springeth green.
As you know, there are many stories that are a part of this time of year, as for the first time, I think they said the first time maybe in 40 years that Easter and Ramadan are happening at the same time. And of course, there are many years when the time of Passover and the time of Easter also overlap. So there are so many stories and narratives. So today we'll listen to one of the narratives from the Easter season from the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verses 1 through 18. Now, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark and saw the stone removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple whom Jesus loved and told them, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb and we don't know where they put him." So Peter and the other disciple went out and came to the tomb. Now they both ran, but the other disciple ran faster than Peter and arrived at the tomb first and bent down and saw the burial cloths there in the tomb, but did not go in. Now, when Simon Peter arrived after him, he went into the tomb and saw the burial cloths there. And the cloth that had covered Jesus' head was not with the burial cloths, but was rolled up in a separate place. Then the other disciple also went in, the one who had arrived at the tomb first, and he saw and he believed. For they did not yet understand the scripture that said that Jesus had to rise from the dead. And so then the disciples returned home. But Mary stayed outside of the tomb. She was weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw 2 angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" And she said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they have put him." Now, when she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not recognize that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?" Now, Mary thought it was the gardener and said to him, Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you've laid him, and I will take him. But Jesus said to her, Mary. And she turned and said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means teacher. Jesus said to her, stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to God. But go to my brothers and sisters and tell them, I am going to my God and to your God. So Mary of Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, I have seen the Lord, and what he told her. And that's the word of the story for today.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kim. Thank you so much. So I think you're getting an idea of what's happened this week and this month. But do you know what's happened this Friday? Happening this Friday. That's right, you guessed it. It's Ramadan, Passover, Easter, and Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi, holy days in the Islamic, the Jewish, the Christian, and the Sikh traditions. Very different traditions, even have very different calendars that they follow. So it's amazing that they overlap and even coincide this year. And it got me to thinking about what they mean separately and what they mean together. Are there differences and are there similarities? Each of these religions set aside a special time, this sacred time, to reflect on who we are and what we are doing with our precious life. This is a time of seeking new understandings of the world and our place in it, a time to be rejuvenated and experience a new way to be alive in the world. And all of these holy days are celebrations. They're parades, there's singing, there's amazing food, dancing, basically throwing parties, celebrating new life and spring. And of course, Easter celebrations were taken from Wiccan fertility holiday Ostara, which had themes of balance, renewal, and rebirth. And that's where our bunnies and our colored eggs come from. We took it right from them. But each of these holy days includes a celebration at the end or during, and each one has a story. Some of these stories are full of intrigue and danger and violence. Some of these journeys include sacrifice and introspection. Some of them include betrayal and lives and sorrow, sort of like our lives. When we are part of a faith community in those faith communities, those stories can become our story too. The betrayals, the lies, the drama can help us understand and deal with our own life challenges. During Ramadan, God revealed the first verses of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This beginning is celebrated through personal and communal spiritual discipline, including fasting, contemplation, and charity, and also includes celebrations of food and community. Passover honors the struggle of people escaping enslavement in Egypt and then celebrates the beginning of liberation. One practice that Jews observe at the Seder table is to see oneself as a person who has been enslaved and liberated. Passover is a time of remembrance, but it is also a time of new beginnings and rebirth, moving from the remembrance toward experiencing and then creating more justice. For Christians, Holy Week is the story of Jesus's final week on earth, beginning with his entry into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, which was a protest countering a military parade on the other side of town, followed by the government execution of him on Good Friday, and culminating in his resurrection on Sunday. For Christians, the story is a sign of new life that is possible for all of creation. Vaisakhi is an important holy day in the Sikh tradition and celebrates both the harvest and the birth of the Khalsa. Every year, people would gather to celebrate the harvest. They'd bring things in. But one year, as 5 men they were asked to step forward if you were willing to sacrifice your lives for your religion, and 5 men stepped forward, and the Khalsa was created. Vaisakhi is about courage, about morality, and it's also a celebration of their identity and a celebration of newness and rebirth and new year. This is a sacred time. The confluence of these holy days all together remind us how important it is for us to step back and take a look at who we are and what we are doing. A time to refresh ourselves and then to celebrate. At the church in Ocean Park, we are in the midst of a holy time. We have been having long period of time alone that we could have been contemplating all this 3 years. We've had times of challenge, times of sacrifice. We lived that journey of all of these different faith traditions. This month, construction is beginning at the church. Let's hear it. Construction is beginning, and it should be done within a few months. So we only have a couple more months for the contemplation and clarity part. Soon the church will be open. Soon we'll have fantastic celebrations. The church in Ocean Park will have a resurrection day soon. We will enter the sanctuary singing and dancing and drumming and blowing bubbles and probably hula hooping and laughing and maybe even crying our way into the sanctuary. Crowds will come. People will see it. We will see people who used to be with us but never made it onto Zoom. Do you remember any people, anybody, any person who did not make it onto Zoom and you missed them and they used to come on Sunday morning or some other time? Put their name in the chat. Put their name in the chat, and hopefully we will see them when we open the doors again. And we will make a special invitation to the people that you will write down in the chat now. But crowds are going to come. We will see people that we know and then look different. People who we know and they look the same. There will be many that you don't know, many who I don't know, but who are very connected to the church in Ocean Park. It will be like the gathering of Eid al-Fitr, the final meal during Ramadan, or the Vaisakhi parade, or an Easter parade, or harvest festivals. This is one time when we open at the doors and they will come. The question is, what will we do with this glorious once in a lifetime opportunity? What will we do when they come? For over a year, we've been raising money to get our ceiling replaced. Many folks have donated, some have done it 2 or 3 times to make this happen. And some of these are people none of us know. Many of those people will come to celebrate the opening of the church. How will we thank them? How will we welcome them? I mean, truly welcome them, not just say, we're glad you're visiting, but let them know they are not a visitor. They are a part of the community, and make room for whatever it is they'll bring. Are we willing to be different? Because if we really listen to them, they will change us. Ramadan, Passover, Vaisakhi, and Easter all call us to begin anew and to change. This is the time. What these converging faith traditions are telling us is that this is the time. This is the time for new beginnings right now for the church in Ocean Park. That's an understatement. This is the time for the church in Ocean Park to do something new. But that's not daunting. That's what the church in Ocean Park is all about. It's always been about that. When someone comes to the church and asks if we have a program about something, or what are you doing about whatever issue is the top of their mind, we ask them, what would you like to do about it? And we help them find a team to make it happen. The church in Ocean Park is about changing ourselves and changing our community. Now is a time when we have a moment to be intentional about what can happen. We have a bigger reach than we ever thought we did. When the church opens, we can have as many celebrations as there are people to create them. We could plan one for the people who donated, one for the neighborhood. The children could plan one. Could we invite some of the folks who we don't know, but who know church in Ocean Park to help plan the celebrations? Could we ask a couple of people from the neighborhood, maybe across the street from the church, what ideas they would have? During the pandemic, followed by our capital campaign, we have realized many things. One, here's 3 of them. One, It's important to actually be physically present with people sometimes. Zoom doesn't always get it. Number 2, the building at 235 Hill is a real gift to us. Number 3, the church in Ocean Park is important to the wider community, and they feel a part of it, and they want it to be here. They have a passion around that. So many people step forward that we have never seen before. You know, we're incredibly lucky right now. You all met Jeffrey earlier because somehow we found Jeffrey Munoz, or he found us. Jeffrey encompasses the church in Ocean Park values and is an organizer and is so easy to get along with. He's already involved in many, many things. And he'll be with us through the end of August. So he'll be seeing the opening of the church. One of the things he'll be doing is creating some in-person circles focused on different things. He'll be sending out a survey to get your input on that. And please be creative as possible. Don't just think of the things that we've already done. Be as creative as you can. And just like our online circles, these in-person circles are intended to include people who are not actively participating in the church right now and people who are. Hopefully these circles will be groups of people who don't already know each other. One of these groups could be celebration planning team. Another might be focused on cooking, maybe Italian food, Mexican food, or vegan cooking, or some kind of specialty cooking, desserts. Another could be how can we build more partnerships with anti-racism groups? The possibilities are endless. This is a new day. Let the doors of your imagination open in preparation for the doors of the church in Ocean Park opening. And when we think about entering this place, a place that is so welcome and familiar, how will we ensure that we are continuing to open the doors wider and wider? Of course, we might want to have that moment where we just run in and hug everyone that we haven't seen, of course. And then we can make it more welcoming to people who are not like us. In this familiar but new church, will new people be not only at the table, but will they be a part of creating a new table that we are invited to? A table that's different than we're used to? Will new leaders step forward that we don't know? People who come from communities we're unfamiliar with? What would happen if 50% of the leadership changed? It would be exciting and uncomfortable. We have the opportunity to hear new voices and be changed by them. It can mean sacrificing comfort, and it can knock us off our balance, especially if we don't prepare ourselves. This sacred time is a time to prepare ourselves for this big change. We have a couple of months. We still have time for preparation. Ramadan, Passover, Easter, and Vaisakhi give us time and reflection and contemplation to prepare for the huge change and a huge celebration. We have an opportunity, folks. There is no going backwards. There is only going forwards. Taking the best of who we are and doing it in new ways all over the place. As we wake up on this beautiful Resurrection Sunday, we know that the possibilities are wide open. There are more people and organizations that support us than we ever knew. What will we do? To prepare is to believe that something else is coming. Something else is coming. So let's prepare for the celebration. Our world looks a whole lot like Good Friday sometimes. Your spirit might be wailing alongside those whose children have died by gunfire and continue to die by gunfire in our streets. And this week, also the 2 Black men who were thrown out of their seats of power for making evil known, though their white colleague remained. It feels like Good Friday. And into this Good Friday world, to people who are struggling, you are being asked to bring Easter, to bring liberation, to simply be a gentle presence, to reflect love, to overflow with abundant love, to love simply that hope comes alive, to not judge but love unconditionally, to not wound but heal, to spread love which can save someone's life. The tomb of death was empty. Good Friday doesn't win. Don't let love give up. Bring it on, Easter. You and I, as flawed as we are loved deeply, and we are called to love others who are traumatized, hurt, betrayed, hurt by religion, we are called to love deeply. We can't wait till we get better. We can't wait till we're ready. The doors are going to open. We have gone through a narrow place, my friends, but now it's Easter. Now it's Passover. Now it's Ramadan. We are a new people. Prepare to open the doors, and together, let's create an even more loving world. Hallelujah.
I'd like to sing a song by Chris Williamson. It's called Song of the Soul. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Love of my life, I am crying, I am not dying, I am dancing, dancing along in the madness. There is no sadness, only a song of the soul, and we'll sing this song. Why don't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. Come on and sing this song. Why don't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. What do you do for your living? Are you forgiving, giving shelter? Follow your heart, love will find you, truth will unbind you. Sing out a song of the soul, and we'll sing this song. Why don't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. Come on and sing this song. Please won't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. Come to your life like a warrior, nothing can bore you, you can be happy. Let in the light, it will heal you, and you can feel you. Sing out a song of the soul, and we'll sing this song. Why don't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. Come on and sing this song. Please won't you sing along, and we can sing for a long, long time. And we can sing for a long, long time. Yeah, I want to sing for a long, long time.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much, Louise. I love that song. Very nice. So now it's time for community sharing. So if you would like to share, you could raise your hand Zoom way, or you can raise it like Jerry Rubin. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh boy. Wow. I love those words you just shared, Janet, about the church opening again. It just sounds so great. And the songs. First of all, I just want to say thank you to so many of you individually and as a church for listening and your empathy towards me in helping me with the loss of Marissa. Your empathetic ears and hearts really help. I just got this beautiful plaque mail came in the mail that the city is going to do on Earth Day, and it's coincidentally it came from Marissa's home state of New York, and it's gorgeous. It weighs a lot.
No.
And I remember in the mid 1980s when Marissa came to the church, and then we had a big event in the Palisades Park, because on that Easter Sunday, it was also Passover, but it was also Earth Day, April 22nd. And Marissa dressed in full costume as the Easter Earth Bunny. And she had a group of dozens of kids that were there in the Palisades Park at the Children's Tree of Life, decorating Easter eggs with peace messages and hearts and all that wonderful stuff that she did as an art therapist and as an artist. And darn, I wish I could find the picture that I had of that in my disorganized place. But I just want to thank all of you so much and in every way.
Thank you, Jerry. We love you. We love you so much. Rachel.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Everything was very inspirational. I'm sorry I haven't been around the last few Sunday mornings. Easter and this time of year, and also to include the spring equinox for my faith path is an opportunity for change. And I have taken that opportunity, and I just want to let you all know that I have bought a really nice motorhome. It's a Lazy Days, 1997. If you know anything about motorhomes, it's about the best Class C motorhome you can buy. And I am outfitting it to become a leatherworking shop on wheels. And I am simplifying my life down to two foci. Basically, keeping the RV maintained and producing leather products. That will be the focus of my life going forward. What I'm going to be telling people is that I'm semi-retired. Also, 2 days ago, on April the 7th, I completed my 60th traversed around the sun. So I turned 60 last Friday on April 7th, which is even very crazy for me to even contemplate that I've been on this planet that long. I don't feel it in my mind, although my body does every once in a while remind me that, but I'm still feeling pretty good physically. But I know I haven't been around much. I've been, trying to get this all together to make this transition into this new life. And I am planning on doing some traveling and getting out into the world after basically being locked in my apartment for the last 3 years because of the pandemic. The pandemic triggered, I've always had a little bit of agoraphobia, but the pandemic kind of triggered that to a large extent. And so I'm needing this change, mind, body, and soul. So just wanted to use this opportunity to let you know what's going on in Rachel Rose's life. I'm glad to see everyone here today. You all do mean a great deal to me, and I will do my best to come to Sundays while I'm out and about and keep you all apprised of where I am and what I'm up to. And so much love to everyone.
Thank you, Rose. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you are here, and thank you for sharing. Yes, definitely keep in touch and maybe send pictures too, wherever you go.
There'll definitely be pictures.
Great. Thank you. And that is definitely a change, a big change, living in a whole different way and doing a whole different thing. So that
Okay.
epitomizes it. Thank you. All
So,
right.
Rev Janet, one
Mhm.
quick thing, because Audrey said her speaker's not working.
Oh,
She wanted to ask a question. She said, wanted to know whether Jesus' father Joseph shows up in Bible stories after Jesus' birth. Well, I mean, the scholars don't exactly know, but usually when, since we don't hear any stories about him as they're going around and as Mary is with Jesus, and we certainly don't hear stories about him at the crucifixion, they imagine that he may have been a bit of an older person, because when Mary had Jesus, she was probably like a teenager, a young teenager. But since Joseph doesn't show up at the crucifixion, they figure that maybe he had died by then. So that's, one of those reasons that, the scholars figure that's why we don't hear about Joseph after those birth narrative stories. So thanks for asking that, Audrey.
yeah. Thanks for asking, and that's a good and answering. Thank you so much. Jean Gasca.
Janet, I just wanted to take this time to thank you for your amazing leadership in our church. You have a lovely energy that is powerful and gentle at the same time. And you help us to find ourselves and to allow us to be who we are and to move forward and be new. I love today's message. It was wonderful. So I wanted to send you on to your sabbatical with hopes that you will relax and take this time. And it couldn't be at a better time, just before the church opens again. Wow. Wow. The universe does miraculous things, doesn't it? So I just want the best for you, and come back to us refreshed. We will miss you, and we'll be okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all those kind words of your support, Jane. Always being one of the wonderful leaders that make it possible for me to leave. Thank you. Bob, Gord.
I'm sort of in the same vein as Jean. I'm just, Janet, I'm wishing for you a wonderful time of renewal for yourself. The kind that Easter and these other holidays are all about. And I'm sure I'm speaking for all of us in saying we love you tremendously. We want you to just have a wonderful time of learning and just refreshing yourself, and we can't wait to see you when you get back.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Take care.
Thank you. Okay, nobody else has to say anything like that. Okay, but that's they took care of everybody, so that's okay. Okay, so Linda.
Yeah, I heard you, Janet, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not that good at doing what I'm told. And I just want to say that how I know that we're going to be fine is because you, Janet, have your superpower is to call forth the best of everyone and to really intuit how each person can best serve and develop. And I think we've all experienced that superpower. And so I know we're going to be fine. And I just want to wish you some surprises, some happy surprises, some unexpected events, some unplanned miracles.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Trudy. Good to see you, Trudy. I know you've had a rough week.
Yeah. There wasn't any way I was going to miss this morning, knowing that number one, it's Easter, and number two, that you were leaving on sabbatical. I had to see your face. And then, wait a minute, Bob says, I said, so as I do every week, so who's bringing the message? And he's like, Janet. I'm like, oh, hell, there ain't no way I'm missing Janet's message. You never fail to surprise. And that's what I wanted to say to you this morning. That sermon resembles exactly the spirit that you are, bringing together all of these different phases of beliefs and spiritual acknowledgments that make us the type of community that we are. And Janet, you do it so effortlessly. We love to hear your voice. So okay, so I'm glad that you're going on vacation. I guess I'm wishing the very best for you. I'm wishing the very best for you. And I can't wait to give you a big hug in the summer when we open the doors.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot, Trudy. That means a lot, all for what all of you said. Thank you so much. Craig.
Regardless of what other folks have said, I want to more or less focus on what is created here in the church in Ocean Park. I guess the intern, and I forget his name already. Jeffrey. This is a village. And, there's an African proverb which states that it takes a village to raise a child. But in this village, we raise more than children. And in large part, that is due to you, Janet, because not only as mother and spiritual leader, you are comfort. You established and built a serious legacy that spans the world. And I'm just happy to be proud of it. I'm just happy to be proud to be a member of it. In these points, I get flustered, but I also wish you safe journey, open-heartedness, warmth and love, from the other perspective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you. It means a lot. Hannah.
Hi, Janet, can you hear me?
Dr. Ijoy, hi. Yes, hi. Let's go to you.
I hope that you get a chance to do one thing.
What?
Off your shoes, kick your shoes off and walk barefoot everywhere you want to go. Just walk around and say, you say, nothing. I'm walking with my shoes off.
Oh, I love that. You know what, Dr. Ijoy? I walked barefoot up the mountain in the Philippines. I never thought I could. Barefoot up and down the mountain because my sandals came off, and then that was all I could do. Anyhow, so yes, barefoot. Barefoot in honor of you. Thank you. Hannah, now it's your turn.
Okay, great. Thank you. But I just want to say I was there for your first sermon and when you took over for Sandy, and you have always been so open-hearted and so welcoming. It makes me want to cry. And I just want you to have a great time. I hope you do a lot of dancing and singing and whatever it is. Going barefoot, absolutely. I love that you've climbed a mountain barefoot. And yeah, and you're a light, and today's sermon was so, you just had me over here grinning and smiling and clapping and just feeling really excited for Church in Ocean Park to be back online or back offline, back in person. And I haven't been there in quite a while, but I'm looking forward to coming again. Louise, I love your songs. I sing along with you all the time. And you're all in my heart. I know there's a lot of people here who saw you, who were there when you first came. And yeah, and so thank you all. It's an opportunity to let my light shine, to come into this community, and it's rare. And thank you so much.
Well, I'm so glad to see you back, Hannah. Every time you come, it brightens my day. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi again, everyone. I just wanted to jump in and sort of provide some of the things that I've been thinking, especially in the middle of, it being my first service. I had a great time. So thanks so much for the space. It was an absolute beautiful message. Janet, I think I just want to echo a lot of the sentiments going around. I know my journey with Janet is sort of just beginning, but I am on a mission to become Janet's favorite. So just want to put that out there. Competition's officially on. So we will be keeping, part of what the internship team will be working on is keeping track of who has the most to deliver to Janet when she comes back from. No, but in all seriousness, Janet, I think my experiences with you have been reflected in everything that everyone's been mentioning so far. I think we've been interacting for all of 2 months, and I've already felt so empowered, so cared for, and so loved for by you. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm kind of sad that you're leaving, but I also recognize that that's part of the reason that I'm here. So I think it's a great opportunity, for you to grow, for you to learn, for you to rest. I think one thing that I've learned in my involvement in social movement so much is that sometimes we come too caught up in the idea that in order to resist or to change the world, we have to consistently be fighting. And we forget to remember that rest sometimes and taking care of ourselves is resistance in itself, especially when we've been, living in a system that seeks to strip our humanity away from us at every chance that it gets. Any moment that you get to reclaim that humanity, I think, is an act of resistance that's stronger than anything that you may be able to do here. But nevertheless, the work here will continue. And I'm really excited. Today's message, I think, really hit home for me, especially since a lot of the projects that I'll be working on are exactly that, with which you were talking about. But, I think what I wanted to jump in and say is that the passion in the space is palpable. You can, I think there's a saying where you can cut attention with a knife. I think here in the space, you can almost feel the passion through a hug, you can feel that people are very excited to come back and people are ready to get involved. So I'm super excited to be able to help in that mission, to help expand our horizons and to bring in more folks that we haven't yet been able to touch. I think, to Janet's message, it's amazing that we're going to finally be able to provide that space for the folks that have been foundational to the church in Ocean Park to be able to come back, but to also use their experiences and this new opportunity to help bring in a new generation of leaders to the space and really expand our community far beyond what any of us can imagine. And so I'm very excited to be part of that mission. I have a lot planned. I have a lot that I'm thinking of, even more ideas now that we've met today. So I'm sure some of my intern team meetings will probably start to be about, how much can I do? And how much can I realistically do? And more importantly, what projects can we start to empower other people to lead so that our space becomes one that continues our legacy of community ownership and of building a legacy and a community together. I think to build community, you have to be a community. And I'm excited to engage in that mission with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. You see how lucky we are, guys? Okay. So, and see, that's why I'm excited about what it's going to be when I come back, because I think you got amazing people, amazing intern, amazing staff, everybody. So anyhow, really in good hands. Everything's in good hands.
So well. Yeah, do you want to say something about this, Reverend Janet, before I share this?
So I want to end the community sharing time with the Abrahamic blessing. Oh, you'll recognize probably one of the people in the, you may recognize one of the people who are singing, but there will be a person who is from the Islamic faith, one from the Jewish faith, and one from the Christian faith who are singing together.
Okay, so here comes the Abrahamic blessing.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الفلاح السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Amen. Amen. And I'll say. Well, I'd like to have a song now. Let's see if I can get this in the chat here. A song by people that we love, Pat Humphries. And we sung this song before. It's called We Will Rise All Together, We Will Rise, but it's really called Common Ground. So Common Ground by Pat Humphries. And you'll see the one line comes back again and again. We will rise all together, we will rise. In a many-colored garden, we are growing side by side. We will rise all together, we will rise. With the sun and moon upon us, not a row will be denied. We will rise all together, we will rise. Now, so I can see that you're singing, or at least that the song is sort of touching you in some kind of way. When we say we will rise, put your hands up and let's just rise all together. Since we can't necessarily sing together quite yet, we'll rise together. Here we go. In a many-colored garden, we are growing side by side. We will rise all together, we will rise. With the sun and rain upon us, not a row will be denied. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics, made from strands of common thread, we will rise all together, we will rise. Oh, looks good. Here we go. We'll defy the threat of violence. We'll no longer live in fright. We will rise all together, we will rise. With our family, friends, and neighbors, we will walk into the light. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics, made from strands of common thread, we will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean. We will rise like the ocean. We will rise like the sun. We will rise all together. We will rise in our many colored fabrics made from strands of common thread. We will rise all together. We will rise. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.